All right, guys, so today we have Guneet here, and she's going to help us with her experience of doing a master's in a finance line outside of India. And this is, again, a very different experience, and I hope Guneet's experience and her journey helps you. So first of all, thank you so much for doing this, Guneet. Really appreciate it. And let's start with your introduction.
Sure. So I've been born and raised in a small town in the eastern part of India called Jamshedpur. That's where I've done my schooling. Right after that, I did my undergrad in Delhi. Again, moved on to UK about 3 years ago, studied, worked, and currently working here.
Talking to you, the first question is, why did you consider doing a master's in the UK?
Sure. So, like I said, I'd gone to Delhi for my bachelor's, and I was doing a BCom from Sri Ram. And it's a course which is, jack of all trades, master of none. You get to know a little bit of everything, but you're not an expert in anything out of that course. And there are a lot of people during that time, they decide what they want to do. So a bunch of my batchmates were doing CA, a few went into the IAS line, a few into MBA, and I thought, okay, what is it that I enjoy the most? So those 3 years were my sort of a launch pad to decide what area to actually want to study and work in. And so LSE was, the topmost choice. Little did I know that I'll actually get in, but fortunately I got. So, so I had a change of plans towards the last year of mine. So I didn't have a lot of options. One recommendation to everyone is if you're planning to go abroad for your master's, definitely start looking at it right from the start of your third year. End of your third year is too late because your chances of getting in are very narrow, and B, there's no scholarship deadline available. Like all scholarships have gone, so you have no choice.
I'm going to ask you a question. I think that a lot of us take into consideration when we're looking to, study internationally. So LSE is definitely expensive, but do you think that there are loan options available, or what has been your experience around the tuition fee? And
yeah, so it's really course dependent. First of all, like anywhere from 10 lakhs to 30 lakhs is the range of a tuition fee depending on what course. So if it's a very commercial course like mine, for example, finance or economics, wherein you're sure to get a job sooner or later, right after your graduation, they tend to be on the higher side, whereas social sciences and humanities are under 15 lakhs.
Okay.
And also that the LSE has this policy that they give more scholarships in terms of humanities and arts courses because to encourage people to do that more. So yeah, I mean, so for me, like I'll talk specifically about my course. The tuition fee was around 27 to 28 lakhs, and then which just simply covers your, exam costs and everything to do with your course. It doesn't cover your accommodation, etc. So if anyone's planning that would be in addition 10 lakhs or so. So yeah, and also to mention that all masters in the UK are 1 year. So that's and that's an expenditure of close to 40 lakhs in a year, which is huge.
Yeah.
One applies early. There are so many scholarships available. There are loans, etc., available in the banks, but I'm not sure if they cover a huge amount like that. So when I'd reached out to a bank, I'd got a loan of 10 lakhs or so, but that wasn't really, covering just about 25% of the entire cost.
Of course, this is a silly question, but why LSE? Did you look at other colleges in the UK also?
Yeah, I did look at Oxford and Cambridge. So Oxford is a huge contender to LSE, right? By all means, historic reputation in terms of crowd and diversity of thought, etc. But the advantage to LSE is that it's located at the heart of the city. So because it's right there amongst those huge skyscraping offices, and you've got the Westminster British government almost, very, very close to the building, there's a lot more exposure. And how the employers work is, okay, if a child has an experience of surviving in London, there's a higher chance of that person thriving in the long run, in the city, as opposed to Oxford, which is more, it's a quieter city. It's very, warm and cozy, and it's got just universities and residential. It's not got that crazy vibe as London.
Yeah.
So from an employer's perspective, this is what was told to me by our career guidance advisors, that saying you're from London gives them that edge that you're used to that hustle bustle of life.
How was the experience though? Like, how was it studying at LSE and doing that 1 year there?
Chaotic, but at the same time enriching. I think that's how I can sum it. I mean, fortunately, I was staying very close to the campus, so I had so much to take in. But that's the beauty of studying in a global university. There's so much happening, and given that masters is a 1-year course, you not only have to focus on your academics, you have to just take in everything that the university is offering, at everything else in terms of lectures, conferences, society work, competitions, case studies, etc., which is not under the purview of your course. So, I mean, I think however much one tries, you will always feel that sense of void. Oh, I wish I'd done more, actually.
I think are the opportunities once you have LSE on your resume. Now you have LSE on your resume. Do you think people look at you differently in India and in the UK, or anywhere if employers are looking at you?
Yeah, so that's again great perk of LSE that's widely recognized, right? From Asia to America.
Yeah,
you're hardly going to meet someone who's like, I'm not sure where this university is, or etc. So that's definitely a perk. But in terms of, there's no campus placement out here in UK. So a question I keep getting from a lot of people is, because you've got LSE, you're sure shot getting a secure placement right after. Absolutely not. You've got it, that's great. It's something that you can cherish in the long term, and it's going to help you in the different jobs you apply. But it also means that you're going to work equally hard than a not so recognized university student in London. You have to make those applications to get a job, and obviously it's a number game. Given being an international student, you have to definitely work twice as hard, because you've got certain restrictions, and you are more expensive as an employee to the company, as opposed to British national.
And what is the work-life and pay-life balance like?
I think it's great, extremely comfortable for me. So I've worked in a couple of startups in London, and now I'm working in a financial institution based in Scotland. All across my, the different work experiences, the hours have been very comfortable. Employees are extremely flexible in terms of, so even, despite prior to COVID, we had an option of working from home once a day, or once a week, sorry.
Okay.
Depending on, if you've got some things to sort out at home or whatever reason.
What is going to be your advice to all aspirants who are probably looking to do a master's internationally in future?
First thing is, based on my experience, I'd like to say is always, it's great to shoot for the stars, but always have a backup plan to be real. This is utmost necessary. We all want to study in the best of institutions, but destiny and hard work go hand in hand. Not everything is under our control. So when I applied to LSE, I'd also applied to 11 other institutions in the UK, wherein I'd sort of split it into, the one I'd like to go and the one I'm sure I'll get in, so that I do have that option to play around with. So that's my first advice. Second would be just explore. There are so many pathways. It's good to have, a realm of options that you'd want to be in. Just being too narrow is probably we're being short-sighted there, because you'll not know there's that you also had XYZ options until you get there. So just swim across when you get to the shore, not right before that. And just the third one is there are a lot of people out there to help you, be it on in LinkedIn, like you're doing a great job helping so many people. So and otherwise as well, even during their study here and on social media as well.
Okay.
So reach out.
Great. This has been great. I'm also dropping Guneet's link down in the description box, along with some other information from her. So do reach out to her if you have further questions. Really appreciate your time, Guneet. This has been great, and I'm sure that your experience is going to help so many people who are constantly thinking of, pursuing a master's internationally. So thank you.
Thank you, Nidhi, for having me.